I have a Delta 22580, which is a 13-inch surface planer, and it's working. It's struggling really hard to plane out the wood. The other thing is that it's leaving a little ridge. It looks like something nicked the blade. So first thing was I'm going to go order some new blades, but to be honest, one of the neat thing about the Delta and some of the other planers is they're double-sided blades. So you can really just flip them over, or just move them a little bit one way or the other. So let me take off. This is the cover for the dust cover, and then let's get a closer look in there. And I'll show you how to change these blades if you ever need to do them, and we'll inspect it and look for a nick in it. Okay, now inside there you're going to see the blade being held down by these hex nuts. It spins freely, but if you hold the little, there's a little arm down that's in place, it will lock into place. The only funny thing about it is it locks where you can't get your hex wrench in there. So you got to depress this so you can have it in free rotation, and you can get in there and start removing these. And they are on tight. There we go. Got to turn out of that one. Now these things are going to be so hard that I think I'm going to put a little muscle in there. Be very careful with it, but I'm going to use a... There we go. That loosens them up a little bit. Okay, so once I have these up, I just loosened every one. But what you have to be careful is on this screw and this screw, there's actually a spring in there that if you just pull this thing out, the spring's going to fly, and that's what keeps the pressure just proper. So take these out with care, because you don't want that spring to go flying, because you do need that in there for the right pressure. And I can feel it on there, the pressure. Now these blades, even though this thing is dulled up and it's got a nick in it, they are sharp. Do not play with those. See, now with pressure you'll see that it just pops right up off of there. And you see there's those springs that I was talking about. You can get your hand in there, but I find I got a little magnetic picker up. I think there's the blade, so I don't have to touch the blade. And then I can get the spring there. Get the other spring there. And look, I see some chips and fragments in there. Look at, there's even a little bit of sap in there. So I think I'm going to clean that up really well before I put it back in. Look, there's even just a slight bit of surface rust. We'll get that all cleaned out before we put it back on. Well, apparently I don't have any steel wool, but I think this little wire brush should make quick work of it there. And then what we'll get is a little brasso in there and get that taken care of. You'll see there's a little pin there, and this is what helps to align it. And we'll clean that up good. So just to clean up the metal, I'll use a little brasso with just a metal cleaner. Meant for brass, but it pretty much cleans any surface. And if you're not having a good day, then you could use the, well, you know. Alright, she's all ready for the blade. Let's take a look at that now. Okay, so essentially the blade is in like this. If you see, there's a little pin there, and those pins on the inside will keep that in right. So basically, instead of replacing the blade right now, all I'm going to do is just flip it over and use the other side. I'm going to order it because now I got a ding in one side of it. I know that I can only flip these things over once because you can't sharpen these blades. You're not supposed to, and I wouldn't. And now we're just going to put it back in. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this about as level as I can. I will put the first spring in there. Make sure it sets in there nice. And then we will put the second one in there. And what I think I'll find is I'm going to just align those with the pins that are already in there. So make sure that, okay, see, And there goes the spring. All right, well, it's right there. So now it's actually set there, the blade, with the right side second forward. Then we will put the guard, which I believe the guard is right here. Okay, now I'm putting the pressure on the spring. I'm going to go ahead and put the first one in and just finger tighten it down a little bit. That'll at least take the pressure off of the spring and I can get the other ones in. And release the pressure and let's put the rest of them in. Alright, just put the cover over it. Alright, let's give her a test run. I've got some of my pallet wood there that I've been cleaning down. I'll run that through. You have to be careful, there's no nails in there, and I use the magnet to figure that out. So. Alright, there we go. About 30-40 minutes worth of work. I was able to, instead of replace the planer blades, I actually flip them around, get another 4 or 5 years out of it, hopefully, in case I don't hit a nail or a screw or anything like that. But if you have a different brand, different model, they're all going to be very similar. The best way is to go and get that manual to explain it. They're all very similar. But that's how you do the Delta. And if you have any questions, post them below. Thanks for subscribing. And again, this is Chris Demetrick, the Dems World.